In the last episode, humanity, once deemed too unpredictable and emotional, was exiled from the Galactic Council. But from the ashes of exile, we rose like a phoenix, building our own trade empire from scratch with Earth as its capital. I, a young and ambitious entrepreneur, witnessed the birth of this new era and soon found myself at the forefront of humanity's resurgence. We formed powerful bonds with overlooked and underestimated species in the galaxy, uplifting and arming them with cutting-edge technology that no one else had access to. The human empire quickly grew in power and influence, leaving the old Galactic Council in the dust. I stood on the observation deck of the Imperial Star, the flagship of our empire, gazing out at the starry expanse. The hum of the ship's engines and the murmur of the crew created a soothing melody, a symphony of progress. My eyes wandered to the holographic display projected before me, a 3D map of the galaxy with our empire's territories highlighted in bold blue. We had come so far so fast. The thought swelled my chest with pride. But my reverie was short-lived. The comms officer's voice pierced the air. "Sir, we've received a distress signal from the Zorvathian Enclave." My gut tightened. The Zorvathians, one of our most trusted allies, were in trouble. I turned to my chief advisor, Arcturus, his eyes already locked on mine. "Get me more information," I said, my voice firm. "The signal's cryptic, sir," the comms officer replied. "But it sounds like a rogue faction within their own ranks is making a play for power." I frowned, my mind racing. This was exactly the kind of challenge we couldn't afford to ignore. The fate of our empire and the entire galaxy hung in the balance. I turned to Arcturus. "Assemble a team. We leave in an hour." The hum of the engine seemed to grow louder, echoing the beat of my heart. I was about to step into the unknown once again, to forge alliances, secure vital resources, and protect our empire from those who sought to undermine our progress. The weight of responsibility settled on my shoulders, but I didn't flinch. This was what I was born to do. "Let's go make a difference," I said, my voice echoing through the observation deck, as the stars seemed to wink at me, daring me to take on the universe. I strode onto the hangar deck, the cool air enveloping me as I made my way to the shuttle bay. Arcturus and our handpicked team of specialists were already assembled, their faces set with determination. We exchanged brief nods, and without a word, we boarded the sleek, silver shuttle, emblazoned with the emblem of our empire. As we lifted off, the hangar deck's bustling activity gave way to the inky blackness of space. Our pilot, the skilled and seasoned Captain Ortega, plot-coursed us toward the Zorvathian Enclave. The journey was long, but my mind was already racing ahead, envisioning the complex web of alliances and rivalries that lay ahead. We materialized on the outskirts of the Enclave, a sprawling metropolis of crystal spires and iridescent domes. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, as if the very atmosphere itself was alive. Our shuttle was immediately surrounded by Zorvathian guards, their scaled armor glinting in the faint light. I emerged, flanked by Arcturus and our security detail, and approached the waiting Zorvathian delegation. Their leader, the venerable matriarch Zexara, greeted me with a subtle nod. Her piercing green eyes seemed to bore into my very soul, as if searching for any hint of deception. "Greetings, human leader," she said, her voice like a gentle breeze. "We appreciate your prompt response to our plea. Our situation is delicate." I nodded, my eyes locked on hers. "We're here to help, matriarch, but I need to understand the nature of this threat." Zexara's gaze faltered ever so slightly before she replied. "A rogue faction driven by ambition and greed seeks to overthrow our council and claim the Enclave for themselves. They are well-armed and well-trained, but we have reason to believe they possess unorthodox methods." My instincts prickled, sensing the unspoken. "What kind of methods, matriarch?" I pressed, my voice even. Zexara's expression turned cryptic. "Let us just say they have discovered an ancient technology, one that could tip the balance of power in the galaxy. We must stop them before it's too late." I exchanged a weighted glance with Arcturus, my mind racing with the implications. This was no ordinary power struggle. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. I turned back to Zexara, my resolve firm. We'll do everything in our power to help you, Matriarch, but I need your full cooperation and transparency. We must work together to uncover the extent of this threat and put an end to it. Zexara's eyes seemed to flash with a hidden fire before she nodded, her expression resolute. You have my word, human leader. Together, we will restore balance to our enclave and ensure the stability of the galaxy. As we set to work, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were dancing on the edge of a precipice, with the entire galaxy teetering on the brink of chaos. But I was ready, my heart pounding with anticipation, to face whatever lay ahead. Head-on, the Zorvathian Enclave's labyrinthine corridors seemed to unfold before us like a serpentine puzzle, as we delved deeper into the heart of the crisis. Matriarch Zexara led the way, flanked by her retinue of advisors and guards, with our team of specialists trailing behind. We arrived at a reinforced chamber deep within the enclave, where a holographic display flickered to life, projecting a 3D image of the rogue faction stronghold. The structure was a twisted, nightmarish sprawl of blackened spires and twisted, thorn-like protrusions. This is the stronghold of the rogue faction, Zexara explained, her voice tight with concern. They have fortified themselves within, using the ancient technology to amplify their defenses. We believe their leader, the warlord Krathos, is hiding within. I studied the hologram, committing every detail to memory. What can you tell me about this ancient technology? I asked, my eyes locked on Zexara. Little is known, human leader, she admitted, her expression guarded. The technology was thought to be lost, buried deep within the ruins of a forgotten civilization. But Krathos and his followers have managed to reactivate it, using it to fuel their ambitions. Arcturus stepped forward, his eyes narrowing. What kind of power are we talking about, Matriarch? What can this technology do? Zexara's gaze faltered, and for an instant I glimpsed a flicker of fear in her eyes. We're not entirely sure, but it's rumored to be capable of manipulating the fabric of spacetime itself. If Krathos is able to harness its full potential, the consequences would be catastrophic. I felt a cold dread creeping up my spine as I realized the scope of the threat. This was no ordinary rebellion. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. I need to speak with Krathos, I declared, my voice firm. I need to understand what drives him, what he hopes to achieve. Zexara's expression turned grim. I fear that's not possible, human leader. Krathos is a ruthless warlord, driven by ambition and a lust for power. He will not negotiate, he will only respond to force. I nodded, my mind racing with strategies and tactics. Then we'll have to use force to reason with him. As I turned to confer with Arcturus and our team, a faint hum echoed through the chamber, growing louder by the second. The air seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy, and I felt the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. What's happening? I asked Zexara, my voice low and urgent. Her eyes snapped toward the chamber's central console, where a holographic display flickered to life, projecting an image of the rogue faction stronghold. It's Krathos, she whispered, her voice trembling. He's making his move. The stronghold's twisted spires began to glow with an eerie, pulsing light, as if the very fabric of spacetime was beginning to unravel. I felt the ground shudder beneath my feet, as if the enclave itself was awakening from a deep slumber. We need to act now, I said, my voice firm and resolute. We can't let Krathos unleash this power on the galaxy. Zexara's eyes locked onto mine, a fierce determination burning within. Then let us march into the heart of chaos, human leader. Together we will stop Krathos, no matter the cost. As the air seemed to crackle with anticipation, I knew that the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. The time for diplomacy was over. The time for action had begun. With a deep breath, I nodded, and our team sprang into motion. Arcturus and his squad of elite operatives fanned out, securing the chamber and preparing for battle. Dr. Ilara Vex, our chief scientist, began frantically analyzing the data streaming in from the stronghold, searching for any weakness or vulnerability. Zexara's guards formed a phalanx around us, their eyes fixed on the glowing stronghold. As we prepared to launch a counterattack, the hum grew louder, and the air seemed to thicken with anticipation. The chamber's consoles flickered to life, casting an eerie glow over the room. I could feel the weight of the galaxy's fate settling onto my shoulders. "Dr. Vex, what do you have for me?" I asked, my voice steady and focused. "Still trying to crack the encryption, human leader," she replied, her fingers flying across her console. "But I think I've found a possible frequency to disrupt their energy signature. If we can." A blinding flash of light cut her off, and the chamber was bathed in an intense, pulsating glow. The stronghold's spires seemed to be channeling the very fabric of space-time, warping reality itself. I felt the enclave shudder beneath my feet, as if the ancient structure was awakening from a deep slumber. "Krathos is making his move," Zexara warned, her voice tight with urgency. "We must act now, or risk being consumed by the chaos." With a deep breath, I steeled myself for the battle ahead. "Arcturus, take point. Dr. Vex, get that frequency online. Zexara, lead the guard. We move in 3, 2, 1. The chamber erupted into chaos as we launched our counterattack. Blaster fire echoed through the corridors, and the air was filled with the acrid smell of smoke and ozone. I charged forward, my heart pounding in my chest as we plunged headlong into the heart of the rogue faction's stronghold. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and I was ready to do whatever it took to ensure its survival. As we fought our way deeper into the stronghold, the pulsating energy seemed to grow stronger, warping the very fabric of reality. I could feel the power of the ancient technology coursing through the air, tempting me with its limitless potential. But I knew I couldn't be swayed. This was a battle for the future, and I would stop at nothing to protect it. We pushed forward, step by step, as the stronghold's defenses crumbled beneath our assault. The air grew thick with the smell of smoke and sweat, and the sound of blaster fire echoed through the corridors. And then, suddenly, we broke through to the heart of the stronghold. The chamber was a twisted, nightmarish sprawl of blackened spires and twisted, thorn-like protrusions. At its center, standing atop a raised dais, was Krathos, the ruthless warlord. His eyes locked onto mine, and a cold, calculating smile spread across his face. "Human leader," he sneered, "I've been expecting you. You're just in time to witness the birth of a new era." With a wave of his hand, the chamber erupted into a maelstrom of energy and chaos. The ancient technology roared to life, warping reality itself. I felt the ground tremble beneath my feet as if the very fabric of space-time was beginning to unravel, and I knew that I had to stop him, no matter the cost. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and I was ready to do whatever it took to save its Zexara. "Take point," I yelled, trusting her expertise to navigate the whirlwind of energy and debris. Arcturus and his squad formed a tight perimeter around Dr. Vex, shielding her from the worst of the chaos as she frantically worked to disrupt Krathos' energy signature. I sprinted towards Krathos, dodging twisted, thorn-like protrusions that seemed to writhe and twist like living tendrils. The air was thick with an otherworldly power, making my skin crawl with unease. The warlord's smile grew wider, as if he reveled in the destruction he was unleashing. Suddenly, a blast of concentrated energy slammed into me, sending me stumbling backward. Krathos' laughter echoed through the chamber, and I tasted the metallic tang of ozone on my tongue. Zexara rushed to my side, her eyes blazing with fury as she shielded me from another wave of energy. "Dr. Vex, how close are you?" I shouted, my voice hoarse from the strain. "Almost there, human leader," she replied, her words punctuated by bursts of static. "Just need to." Ah! A brilliant flash of light illuminated the chamber, and the energy signature began to falter. Krathos' eyes flared with anger, and he raised his hands to unleash a devastating blast of power. But I was ready. With a fierce cry, I launched myself at Krathos, dodging and weaving through the distorted energy fields. My blaster fired in rapid succession, each shot precision-aimed to pierce the warlord's defenses. The chamber reverberated with the force of our collision, and I felt the very fabric of reality tremble beneath my feet. Krathos' eyes locked onto mine, and for an instant, I saw the glimmer of recognition, of understanding that he was about to be outmaneuvered. With a triumphant cry, I plunged my blade into Krathos' chest, the ancient technology's power surging through me like a vortex. The warlord's eyes widened in shock, and he let out a strangled gasp as his energy faltered. The chambers twisted, nightmarish sprawl began to dissipate, and the ancient technology's pulsating energy signature began to fade. I stood tall, my chest heaving with exhaustion as the stronghold's defenses crumbled beneath our assault. Dr. Vex rushed to my side, her eyes shining with excitement. "Human leader, we did it. We've secured the stronghold," but I barely heard her words. My gaze was fixed on the portal that had suddenly materialized behind Krathos' lifeless body, a swirling vortex of energy, pulsing with an otherworldly power that seemed to call to me like a siren song. "Zexara," I whispered, my voice husky with wonder. "I think I've just found the key to unlocking the secrets of the Ancient Ones." As I stepped forward, the vortex beckoned, its power drawing me in with an irresistible force. I felt the galaxy's fate shift, ever so slightly. As I took my first step into the unknown, the air seemed to thicken, heavy with anticipation, as I crossed the threshold into the unknown. Zexara's hand on my shoulder was the only anchor to reality as I gazed into the swirling vortex. Dr. Vex's excited chatter faded into the background, replaced by the soft hum of ancient machinery. Arcturus and his squad formed a tight perimeter around us, their eyes fixed on the portal as if ready to defend us from whatever lay beyond. I took another step forward, the vortex energy enveloping me like a shroud. My heart raced with excitement, my mind reeling with the possibilities. What secrets lay hidden beyond this portal? What wonders or terrors awaited humanity on the other side? Zexara's grip on my shoulder tightened, her eyes locked onto mine. "Be careful, human leader," she whispered, her voice laced with concern. "We don't know what's on the other side." I nodded, my hand instinctively reaching for the hilt of my blade. "It'll be fine, Zexara. I have to do this." With a deep breath, I stepped further into the vortex. The chamber behind me faded to black, replaced by a kaleidoscope of colors and lights. I felt my consciousness expanding, my mind adapting to the sheer scale of the ancient technology. The portal spat me out into a realm unlike anything I'd ever seen. Towering crystal spires pierced the sky, their facets reflecting a kaleidoscope of colors. The air was alive with energy, pulsating with a power that seemed to resonate deep within my bones. A figure emerged from the heart of the crystal city, its features shifting and flowing like molten lava. I felt a jolt of recognition, as if I'd seen this being before in the recesses of my own mind. "Greetings, human leader," the being said, its voice like a symphony of celestial music. "I am the architect, the guardian of this realm and the secrets of the Ancient Ones." I bowed, my heart pounding with excitement. "I've come to unlock the secrets of the Ancient Ones," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. The architect's form shifted, its features coalescing into a being of pure light. "You have shown great cunning and determination," it said. "Very well, human leader, I shall grant you an audience. But be warned, the secrets I shall reveal to you will change the course of your destiny forever." I steeled myself, my mind racing with the implications. "I'm ready," I said, my voice firm. The architect nodded, its form dissolving into a swirling vortex of energy. I felt myself being drawn into its heart, the secrets of the Ancient Ones waiting to be revealed. As I gazed into the vortex, I knew that nothing would ever be the same again. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and I was about to uncover the secrets that would shape our destiny for generations to come. The vortex engulfed me, its energy coursing through my veins like liquid fire. I felt my consciousness expanding, my mind stretching to comprehend the secrets that lay hidden within. The architect's form dissolved into a sea of light, and I was left floating in a realm beyond time and space. Visions began to unfold before me, like petals of a flower blooming in fast motion. I saw the Ancient Ones, beings of unimaginable power and wisdom, crafting the very fabric of reality. I saw the birth of stars and galaxies, the dance of matter and energy in an eternal waltz. The visions shifted, and I beheld the downfall of the Ancient Ones. I saw civilizations rise and fall, like waves crashing against the shores of time. I saw the remnants of their knowledge, scattered across the galaxy like seeds waiting to be sown. The visions coalesced into a single thread, a narrative that unwound before me like a tapestry. I saw the Galactic Council, its members once proud and mighty, now reduced to petty squabbles and infighting. I saw humanity, exiled and forsaken, yet refusing to succumb to the void. And then I saw myself, a young entrepreneur, driven by ambition and curiosity, a leader, forged in the crucible of adversity and tempered by the fire of determination. I saw the threads of fate that bound me to Zexara, to Dr. Vex, to Arcturus and his squad. I saw the web of alliances and rivalries, the intricate dance of power and interest that had brought humanity to the threshold of greatness. The visions faded, and I found myself back in the Crystal City, the architect's form coalescing before me once more. "You have seen the secrets of the Ancient Ones," it said, its voice like a gentle breeze. "You have witnessed the tapestry of time, woven from the threads of countless civilizations." I nodded, my mind reeling from the sheer scope of what I had seen. "I understand," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "I see the path that lies ahead, the choices that must be made." The architect nodded, its form shifting into a being of pure light once more. "Then you must also see the danger that lurks in the shadows," it said. "The remnants of the Ancient Ones still linger, waiting to pounce upon the unwary. You must be prepared to face them, to harness their power and bend it to your will." I steeled myself, my heart pounding with anticipation. I knew that the fate of humanity hung in the balance, and I was the only one who could tip the scales. "I am ready," I said, my voice firm. The architect nodded, its form dissolving into the swirling vortex once more. I felt myself being drawn back into the chamber, Zexara's hand on my shoulder a warm anchor to reality. As I emerged from the portal, I knew that nothing would ever be the same again. The secrets of the Ancient Ones had changed me, had forged me into a leader worthy of shaping humanity's destiny. I gazed out at the stars, my heart ablaze with determination, and I knew that the future belonged to us. The stars shone bright before me, like diamonds scattered across the velvet expanse. I felt invigorated, my mind racing with the secrets I had uncovered. Zexara's hand still rested on my shoulder, a gentle reminder of the bond we shared. "Arcturus," I said, turning to the squad leader, "assemble the council. We have a new course to chart." Arcturus nodded, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. "On it, sir." Dr. Vex watched me with an intensity that bordered on fascination. "The secrets of the Ancient Ones," she whispered. "You've tapped into something profound, something that could change the course of history." I smiled, a sense of purpose burning within me. "We're just getting started, Doctor. We're going to harness that power and forge a new destiny for humanity." The council chamber buzzed with activity as the leaders of humanity's various factions gathered around the table. I stood at the forefront, my eyes scanning the room as I began to outline my vision. "We've played it safe for too long," I said, my voice echoing off the walls. "We've allowed our fears and doubts to hold us back. But I've seen the tapestry of time, and I know what lies ahead. We have the power to shape our own destiny, to forge a path that's uniquely our own." Zexara leaned forward, her eyes locked onto mine. "What do you propose, Alex?" I smiled, a plan unfolding in my mind like a map. "Well, form an alliance with the Zorvath, tap into their mastery of dark energy. Well, court the Luminari, harness their wisdom and ancient knowledge. And well, forge a new path, one that doesn't rely on the scraps of the old Galactic Council." The room erupted into a frenzy of discussion, debates, and counter-proposals. I listened intently, weighing each argument, and slowly, Incrementally, the vision took shape. As the council adjourned, I felt a sense of satisfaction wash over me. The path ahead would be fraught with danger, but I knew we were ready. Humanity was ready to take its rightful place among the stars. The chamber doors slid open and a calm officer hastened in, a look of urgency on his face. "Sir, we've received a transmission from the outer rim. It's from an unknown entity." I felt a shiver run down my spine. "Play it," I said, my voice firm. The calm officer nodded, and a holographic projection burst to life before us. A figure coalesced, its features indistinct, shrouded in shadows. "Greetings, humanity," it said, its voice like a gentle breeze. "I am the keeper of the cosmos, the guardian of the Ancient One's secrets. You have been chosen to inherit their legacy, to wield their power and shape the course of the galaxy." I felt a jolt of electricity run through me. "What do you want?" I asked, my voice cautious. The keeper's form shifted, its features becoming more defined. "I offer you a gift, humanity. The secrets of the Ancient Ones, the power to reshape reality itself. But be warned, the price will be steep. Are you willing to pay it?" I felt the weight of the universe settling onto my shoulders. I glanced at Zexara, at Dr. Vex, and at the leaders of humanity's factions. I knew the answer, knew it deep within my bones. "Yes," I said, my voice firm. "We're willing to pay the price." The keeper's form dissolved into the shadows, leaving behind only silence and anticipation. I gazed out at the stars, my heart pounding with excitement, and I knew that the fate of humanity hung in the balance. The stars seemed to twinkle in response, as if the universe itself was acknowledging the decision. I felt a shiver run down my spine as the implications sank in. We were on the cusp of something momentous, something that could change the course of history forever. Zexara's hand still rested on my shoulder, a gentle reminder of the bond we shared. Her eyes locked onto mine, filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation. "What does this mean, Alex?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. I turned to Dr. Vex, who was watching me with an intensity that bordered on obsession. "Doctor, what do we know about the Keeper of the Cosmos?" I asked, my mind racing with the possibilities. Dr. Vex's eyes lit up with excitement. "The Keeper is a myth, a legend from the ancient times. It's said to possess knowledge and power beyond our wildest imagination. If it's offering us a gift, we'd be fools to refuse." I nodded, my mind working overtime. "Assemble a team, Doctor. I want to know everything about the Keeper and its motives. Zexara, prepare a diplomatic envoy to establish communication with the Keeper. We'll need to be cautious, but we can't afford to pass up this opportunity." The room erupted into a flurry of activity as my orders were carried out. I watched, my heart pounding with excitement as the wheels were set in motion. Hours turned into days, and the team's findings were both astonishing and terrifying. The Keeper was an ancient being, older than the galaxy itself. It had witnessed the birth and death of countless civilizations and had been waiting for humanity to reach this point. The price of the gift, however, was steep. We would have to surrender a portion of our collective consciousness, allowing the Keeper to tap into our collective memories and desires. The risks were immense, but the potential rewards were too great to ignore. I stood before the council, my heart heavy with the weight of the decision. "We have a choice to make," I said, my voice firm. "We can accept the Keeper's gift and risk losing a part of ourselves in the process. Or we can refuse and potentially miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime." The room fell silent as the weight of the decision settled upon us. I looked around, searching for answers in the faces of my comrades. Zexara's eyes locked onto mine, filled with a deep understanding. "We've come too far to turn back now, Alex," she said, her voice firm. "We have to take the chance." Dr. Vex nodded in agreement, her eyes burning with excitement. "The potential rewards are too great to ignore. We have to take the risk." I nodded, my heart pounding with anticipation. "Then it's settled. We'll accept the Keeper's gift and forge a new destiny for humanity." The room erupted into a mixture of cheers and gasps as the weight of the decision settled upon us. I felt a shiver run down my spine as I gazed out at the stars and knew that the fate of humanity hung in the balance. The transmission from the Keeper came minutes later, its voice echoing in my mind like a gentle breeze. The gift is yours, humanity. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use it wisely. The stars seemed to twinkle in response, as if the universe itself was acknowledging the decision. I felt a sense of purpose burning within me as I gazed out at the stars and knew that humanity was about to embark on a journey that would change the course of history forever. As I stood on the edge of this new era, I couldn't help but think of the incredible journey that had brought us to this point. From the humble beginnings of a struggling entrepreneur to the leader of the most powerful empire in the galaxy, I had seen it all. And yet, as I looked out at the stars, I knew that this was only the beginning. The next few weeks were a blur of activity as we worked to understand the true nature of the Keeper's gift. Dr. Vex and her team toiled tirelessly, unraveling the secrets of the ancient being's power. Zexara and I worked closely together, forging a new path for humanity as we navigated the complex web of alliances and rivalries that span the galaxy. As the days turned into weeks, we began to realize the true extent of the Keeper's power. With its guidance, we were able to unlock new technologies and harness the energy of the cosmos in ways previously unimaginable. Our empire grew stronger, more resilient and more powerful with each passing day. But with great power comes great responsibility, and I knew that we couldn't afford to let our newfound abilities go to our heads. I called a meeting with the council, determined to ensure that we stayed true to our core values and didn't let our power corrupt us. We must remain vigilant, I warned, my eyes scanning the room. The Keeper's gift is a double-edged sword. With it, we can achieve great things, but we must also be careful not to let our ambition consume us. Zexara nodded in agreement, her eyes locked onto mine. We must remember where we came from, Alex. We were once outcasts forced to fight for survival. We can't let our newfound power change who we are as a people. Dr. Vex spoke up, her voice laced with excitement. But think of the possibilities, Alex. With the Keeper's power, we can explore the cosmos like never before. We can make contact with new civilizations, discover new worlds, and unlock the secrets of the universe. I smiled, my heart pounding with anticipation. Yes, Doctor, the possibilities are endless. But we must always remember that our power is not a license to abuse or exploit. We must use our abilities wisely and for the greater good. The council nodded in agreement, and I knew that we were on the right path. As I looked out at the stars, I felt a sense of pride and purpose burning within me. Humanity was on the cusp of a new era, and I was honored to be its leader. But as I turned to leave, a sudden chill ran down my spine. A transmission from an unknown source had appeared on my comms console, its message simple yet ominous. Humanity's power is not yours to wield. The Keeper's gift will be your downfall. I felt a shiver run down my spine as I read the message, my heart pounding with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Who was behind this transmission and what did they mean? Was this a threat, a warning, or something more? I called Zexara and Dr. Vex to my side, my mind racing with the implications. We need to get to the bottom of this, I said, my voice firm. Let's find out who's behind this transmission and what they want. The room fell silent as the weight of the mystery settled upon us. I knew that this was only the beginning of a new challenge, one that would test humanity's resolve and strength like never before. But I was ready. With the Keeper's power at our disposal, I knew that we could overcome any obstacle, no matter how daunting. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and I was determined to ensure that we emerged victorious. I turned to Zexara, my eyes locking onto hers. Assemble a team, Zex. I want to know who's behind this transmission. Dr. Vex, can you trace the signal? Dr. Vex nodded, her eyes already scanning the data streaming across her console. I'm on it, Alex, but it won't be easy. The signal's heavily encrypted. I nodded, my mind racing with the possibilities. Who could be behind this mysterious message? Was it a rival empire seeking to undermine our power, or something more sinister? Zexara turned to leave, her team already assembling behind her. I'll get to the bottom of this, Alex. You can count on me. I watched her go, my heart pounding with anticipation. I knew that Zexara would stop at nothing to uncover the truth, and I had every confidence in her abilities. As I turned back to Dr. Vex, I noticed a faint glow emanating from the console. "What's that, Doctor?" I asked, my eyes narrowing. Dr. Vex looked up, a look of wonder on her face. "It's the transmission, Alex. I've managed to crack the encryption." I leaned in, my heart racing. What would the message reveal? Dr. Vex's eyes locked onto mine, a hint of trepidation in her voice. "It's a warning, Alex. A warning from an unknown source. They claim that the Keeper's power is not what we think it is, that it's a curse, not a blessing." I felt a chill run down my spine as I read the message, my mind reeling with the implications. What did this mean? Was the Keeper's power truly a curse? I turned to Dr. Vex, my voice firm. "We need to know more. Can you hack into the Keeper's systems, get more information?" Dr. Vex nodded, her eyes already scanning the data streams. "I'll try, Alex, but it won't be easy. The Keeper's systems are highly protected." I nodded, my heart pounding with anticipation. I knew that Dr. Vex would stop at nothing to uncover the truth, and I had every confidence in her abilities. As I stood there, waiting for Dr. Vex to uncover the truth, I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. Was the Keeper's power truly a curse? And what did this mean for humanity's future? The silence was oppressive, the weight of the mystery settling upon us like a heavy cloak. I knew that this was only the beginning of a new challenge, one that would test humanity's resolve and strength like never before. But I was ready. With the Keeper's power at our disposal, I knew that we could overcome any obstacle, no matter how daunting. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and I was determined to ensure that we emerged victorious. As I stood there, waiting for the truth to reveal itself, I felt a sudden sense of purpose burning within me. I would uncover the secrets of the Keeper's power, no matter what it took. And I would lead humanity to a brighter future, no matter the cost. I turned back to Dr. Vex, my eyes fixed on the console as she worked her magic. The silence was palpable, the only sound the soft hum of the machines around us. I could feel the tension building, my heart pounding with anticipation. Suddenly, Dr. Vex's eyes lit up and she exclaimed, "I'm in, Alex. I've breached the Keeper's systems." I leaned in, my breath catching in my throat. "What do you see, Doctor?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Dr. Vex's eyes darted back and forth, scanning the data streams. It's incredible, Alex. The Keeper's power is unlike anything I've ever seen. It's as if it's tapping into the very fabric of space-time itself." I felt a shiver run down my spine. "What about the curse, Doctor? Is it true?" Dr. Vex's expression turned grave. "I'm afraid so, Alex. The Keeper's power is not what we thought it was. It's a parasite of sorts. It's feeding on the energy of the galaxy itself." My mind reeled as I processed the implications. A parasite feeding on the energy of the galaxy. It was unthinkable, and yet it made sense. The Keeper's power was unmatched, its abilities beyond anything we could comprehend. "What does this mean, Doctor?" I asked, my voice firm. "Can we still use the Keeper's power?" Dr. Vex hesitated, her eyes clouded with uncertainty. "I'm not sure, Alex. The risk is too great. If we continue to use the Keeper's power, we risk draining the life out of the galaxy itself." I felt a cold dread creeping up my spine. We had to make a choice, and fast. Continue to use the Keeper's power, risking the destruction of the galaxy, or abandon it and lose our edge over the other empires. As I stood there, weighing our options, I knew that the fate of humanity hung in the balance. I couldn't let fear guide my decision, not now. I had to think of the greater good, of the future of humanity itself. I turned to Dr. Vex, my eyes locking onto hers. "We need to gather the council, Doctor. We need to discuss this further and come to a decision." Dr. Vex nodded, her face set with determination. "I'll assemble the council, Alex, but we need to act fast. Time is running out." I nodded, my heart heavy with the weight of responsibility. I knew that this was only the beginning of a new challenge, one that would test humanity's resolve and strength like never before. But I was ready. I would lead humanity through this crisis, no matter what it took. I would ensure that we emerged victorious, no matter the cost. As I turned to leave, I felt a sudden sense of purpose burning within me. I would uncover the secrets of the Keeper's power, no matter what it took, and I would lead humanity to a brighter future, no matter the cost.